Hello, I'm David Hamilton, and welcome once again to Wise Words, where today we are setting the table with a feast of stories from the golden years. Food is more than sustenance, it is a vessel for nostalgia, a pillar of health, and it is the ultimate cultural connector. Today we will share the kitchen with guests who have spiced up their lives with culinary adventures and maybe sometimes turned kitchen blunders into beloved family tales. How's that for a build-up? Welcome once again to Erin and to Rory.
Hello, David.
You have 5 children, and obviously in that time you've done an awful lot of cooking. But from what you told me now, the joy is
I
your
don't
other
have
half
to.
is now doing the cooking.
Yes, this is true. I cooked for 7 every night and 5 packed lunches every day. And inevitably you get the one that doesn't want this or the one who doesn't like that. And then you get the one who's vegetarian who then becomes vegan. I'm talking 25 years ago when vegan was very difficult. And then you get the one who unfortunately has type 1 diabetes. So you've got all these different things going on. And it's just a lot of work. Just vegetables for 7. Preparing every day is a lot. So now I gloriously don't have to do that. I mean, I do occasionally cook. Tomorrow I will be cooking a vegan lasagna for my daughter and grandson who are coming to stay. And funnily enough, all my children and my husband have particular dishes that they remember that when they come back, they put their order in.
Yes.
One of them likes Mum's fish pie. Quite a few of them like Mum's lasagna. Of course, I've got to do the vegan one for the vegans. And then you got the ones who want Dad and Mum's roast and the roast potatoes because Dad does the best roast potatoes, all of those things that, come out every now and then and get done. But otherwise, I let himself get on with it.
Did you train him?
He came quite well trained, and then I think we
good.
trained each other as we went along.
Yeah. Oh, good. Rory, how about you? I mean, are you a cook? Do you cook a lot?
No, I don't cook a lot, but I enjoy it. But as a young person growing up on the farm, we were very big meat eaters. We had our own cattle and we had our own hens and we had our own pigs. So it was bacon and eggs and roasts every Sunday, loads of meat. Yeah, but then I have a very fond memory of when my father's father, my grandfather, we got some kippers from a broth.
Oh,
and
lovely.
Suddenly, we had fish for once, and they were absolutely delicious, these fish. But going back to what you asked, I do enjoy cooking. I find it quite therapeutic. But I never had to cook for loads and loads of people. And having gone to a boarding school, I spent years having really rather nasty food.
Yes, like semolina, tapioca,
yes, bubble pudding,
stuff like that.
and mince. Every day was mince, usually.
You and I have a lot in common because we both went to boarding schools.
Yes.
And we both grew up on farms. And something I remember about the farm that I grew up on was that we always had tomatoes because we grew them. And I got to a point where I hated tomatoes. But now, in later life, I've learned to love them again. And of course, tomatoes are very good for you because they're supposed to be anti-carcinogenic.
And did you know they're better for you if you cook them?
That's right,
Yes,
absolutely.
I only
Yes.
learned that recently.
That's a
I grow
point.
tomatoes in my allotment, and
Yes.
by gosh, they are delicious, freshly picked tomatoes.
Tell you the other thing that I remember, because I am that much older than you, but because we were very poor, we had a lot of bovril. And I had toast and bovril, which is absolutely delicious. And also, I love now, and my cooking is minimal, but I got to tell you, if you come round to my place at all, I do a wonderful jacket potato. I get it really crisp, and I have butter on it and bovril, and I've got to tell you, it is absolutely delicious.
Sounds lovely. I like Marmite. I mean, I'm a Marmite person.
Marmite's a bit stronger,
Yes.
and it is Marmite. You either love it or you hate
yes.
it. But Bovril's a bit milder, and I tell you, it also makes a wonderful gravy.
Yes.
Bovril gravy, yes.
And have you ever had a baked sweet potato?
I'm not that much into sweet potatoes.
they're
Mrs. H is, but I prefer but I do love
Good old King Edward's potatoes. They make a nice baked potato.
But you know, jacket potatoes are very good for you, much better than chips.
Yes, yes.
What are the things that from our youth that we retain that go right through life, and we say to ourselves, "I'm going to have that because I always loved it."
For me, is one thing we used to have growing up was Irish Catholic families. It was the days when you had to fast for 3 hours before you went to church. So we never had any breakfast before we went to church on a Sunday, and we would come back and then have a big Sunday breakfast. And one thing we always had was potato cake, which my mother made, which is still made in Ireland. And I mean, you can get versions of it in supermarkets in this country as well. It's not the same, of course, as the homemade. So we always still have that. We don't have it every week, but we have it at Christmas. We always have the potato cake. My husband makes a very good potato cake. He's learnt over the decades to do a fine potato cake. And the children are always jealous. We send a photograph of the pile of potato cake on the family, social media group, and they'll go, "Oh, we want some." We're like, "Well, you have to come and get it because it's here,"
Scottish delicacies for you?
Well, I do like haggis, but...
I was going to ask you about that.
I wondered if you would, but I do... haggis and neeps, as they're called in Scotland.
Neeps and tatties.
Neeps and tatties. But, oh, my God, we had such wonderful roasts, and every so often, because it costs an arm and a leg now, to have a leg of lamb with roast potatoes and veg on a Sunday. It's just beautiful. It's a lovely meal. But gosh, we don't have it often now.
We still do. I mean, we would always traditionally have the Sunday roast with the family.
Yes.
And we always had a big enough joint or big enough chicken or whatever it was to last for Monday. And one of my daughters put in her school, they do these school diaries, what you do over the weekend, what you do. And she wrote, "It's Monday, so we have scraps for tea." And she put down they were having scraps. It was very much not scraps. It was very decent. But we still at home,
you
just
have a
the
roast.
two of us, we will do a roast because we have an air fryer.
Have you tried a roast leg of lamb and you put cloves in it?
You used to do that. I can't eat much red meat anymore, unfortunately. But we used to do
anchovies as well.
Don't the Irish always have fish on Friday?
Well, yes, of course, because you wouldn't eat meat, of course.
Yes.
But that's the thing. The funny thing about fish is my mother, like you were saying about being brought up not being able to eat tomatoes, etc., and Rory with the meat, is that my mother was brought up in Ireland, and both my parents were, and her brothers were great fishermen. So she grew up having a lot of fresh fish. So all her life, as an adult, she couldn't bear to eat fish. So she never cooked a lot of fish for us. We did have fish, but on Fridays, but more often it would be eggs or something rather than fish.
You see, it's funny you talking about the Sunday roast, because I remember we all used to listen to family favourites on a Sunday. Da 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 da. And it was the only radio show that had its own smell, because when you heard that theme song, you could smell the roast beef and Yorkshire pudding that was cooking in millions of homes around the country. And in those days, we all sat round no, it doesn't happen now, does it? But we all sat round the table and we all had the same meal, which was the Sunday roast. And that goes with you through life, doesn't it? That smell and that time.
My children, still with their children, still sit around the table and have family meals. And I think that's come from their upbringing where we all did.
Yes.
And, it sort of passes down, doesn't it?
And you ban mobile phones.
Well, I mean, I don't know what they do. Do we? No, probably not. But it's a very good thing to do, isn't it, with the mobile phones, to ban them.
Oh, well, I think so.
Yes.
I've been up for Sunday lunch and seen people at a table near me, a family, mum and dad and 2 kids, on the phone throughout lunch, and actually, even when the food is brought to the table, they're still on the phone.
And they don't talk to each other at all. They're all just on their own little mobile.
It's a generational thing, isn't it?
But then the problem is you get not an argument necessarily, but a debate going, good active debate, and there's something that comes up and somebody says it's this and somebody says it's that. And the easiest way to find out if it's this or that is to look it up on your mobile phone.
Yes.
So that's when a mobile phone will be brought and allowed to be used.
Yes. No, I agree with that. Let me talk about recipes that you have experimented with. I'm sure you have. So let me ask you both, Erin, first of all, what recipes have you experimented with that the family have enjoyed, everybody's enjoyed?
Well, when my son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes as a teenager, I was very insistent that he wouldn't miss out on the sweet things that his siblings had. So I experimented with a lot of baking. In fact, I baked for him and not for any of them. They had shop-bought things and they would come and go, "Oh, that looks good." And I'd be like, "No, it's for your brother." So that they missed out. I was very insistent he wouldn't miss out. And then as my daughter became vegetarian and then vegan, we moved on to using, different meat substitutes for her. And as I said, tomorrow I will be making a vegan lasagna making with the white sauce, which is quite complex, with a different milk. So we'll see how that turns out. But, I'm sure it'll be all right.
Rory, how about you? Have you experimented and come up with some recipes that have delighted your lady?
I have indeed. So it's like a ratatouille. You've got your pepper, your tomatoes, your courgettes, and whatever else you like. Cucumbers, you can put cucumbers in.
Yes.
I grow cucumbers in the allotment. Beautiful cucumbers. And then you boil it all up, and at the very end, you put in pieces of white fish, just for a few minutes, and they cook in this sauce, and then you serve it on lovely rice. So that's quite an interesting dish.
Yes, very nice. And the cucumbers come from your allotment.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And the peppers sometimes on a good year. And the tomatoes.
That's very handy, isn't it?
I have a greenhouse, so I grow loads of tomatoes.
Grow your own. Good
I'll
boy.
have to bring you some tomatoes. Oh, you have your own tomatoes, don't you, on the farm?
No, well, not now. That was when my grandfather was running the farm years ago. No, we actually buy our tomatoes now, and I've grown to love them again. But I don't put Bovril on them, you'll be glad to know.
No. Well, if we ever meet up, I'll bring you a bag of tomatoes.
Yes.
Because, they're very prolific.
Lovely. Let's talk about, we're coming back, to how things that happen in later life. And sometimes, unfortunately, we lose a partner. When that happens, how difficult it is for, let's put it this way, the non-cooking partner to have to say, crikey, I'm now going to have to cook for myself. And do you have friends perhaps that this has happened to you?
I do indeed,
How did
David.
they cope with that?
Not well, actually. I mean, I think that as part of the grieving process, sometimes people don't want to do it anyway, and that's a natural process that one eventually moves through. But I've seen and not necessarily older people either, who've lost their partner, sadly, very early, and have found that they don't even know how to turn the microwave on, let alone a computer or anything. Yeah. It's really difficult. And I think also, as we get older, things do get more difficult generally. I have a sister with disabilities, and she is not able to get out to the supermarket, and she's not able to stand over a sink peeling potatoes, etc. So for her to have some convenience food, some ready meals that are perhaps the healthier ones, make life more interesting. If she didn't have those available, she would probably not have such a good diet. Obviously, fresh food is always preferable, but if you can't do or prepare the fresh vegetables or get them yourself, do them yourself, then the next best thing is a healthy, balanced, ready meal, in my view. And
Rory, how about you? Have you friends who've lost their partners and have had to cope with that situation?
Yes, and especially the men. Some of them will not eat properly at all. I'm just thinking too of my late stepfather. He was in his 90s, and luckily he had family and friends who would go in and bring him meals. They'd cook them at the home. Otherwise, he would have just eaten out of tins and things. But we have things like Meals on Wheels. Do you remember those? They're still going, aren't they? Amazing.
Does that still happen?
I think it does.
Does it? Yes.
But yes, a lot of I do feel a lot of older people will skimp on food or not know how to cook at all, and will just literally not eat well at all. But they do rely on friends and family to bring them food in.
Now listen, Christmas is coming soon.
Yes.
So do you have the turkey?
We do. We have the turkey, and we have the traditional Irish stuffing that my mother, used to make, and we make. I also do a chestnut stuffing, both for us and also a vegan variety as well, for if we got the vegan staying. And we have otherwise quite traditional. Using the air fryer these days, of course.
Yes, the air fryer. We've just got one of those.
Yes.
I think Mrs. H has mastered it.
I haven't turned it on yet.
I think she has.
My husband has. He's absolutely got it all going.
We have an Aga. Because we're in the country, in an very old cottage, and we have an Aga, and it took her a while to master the Aga, but she loves it now. She really loves it. And Rory, you'll be looking forward to Christmas. Will you be cooking?
No, I have a son who's a chef, and he will cook us the most amazing lunch. There will be turkey, beef, and ham. He does all three. He has about 12 people all round the table. And it really is. He is a superb cook, of course. I would say that.
Yes.
And it's going to be a lovely Christmas lunch.
I haven't had that. I mean, usually we have turkey. Have you had beef and ham as well with your turkey?
No, we used to do beef. Well, my mother used to do gammon as well. But we tend to have in the past done beef as well. But we don't now, because it's not usually as many of us. There's usually not the whole tribe just some of the tribe. Although my delightful daughter-in-law has started having a Christmas dinner for relatives down just before Christmas, down where they are in Somerset, which is absolutely lovely for those of us who can get down. So that'll be a nice Christmas before Christmas.
So now for young people who may be listening to this as well, what tips can we give them for Christmas and things that they might do for their Christmas lunch?
Well, always just get what they call the crown of a turkey.
Yes.
Don't try and do a whole turkey. Some of these new ovens, you can't get a whole turkey in. Keep it simple, I think. I think maybe for younger people, yes, keep it simple.
Yes.
Don't go out. It's never so nice to go out. We tried going out once at Christmas to a restaurant, and it wasn't a happy time at all, really. No. You've got to cook at home.
Lovely to have Christmas at home.
Much nicer to have Christmas at home.
Providing you decide who's going to do the cooking, and you've both done that.
And who's going to do the clearing up.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That's the biggie. Yes.
Oh, well, of course, the kids will do that, won't they?
Oh, sure.
Oh, no,
sure.
they won't.
No, they'll be on their mobiles.
Oh, sorry, we would do the clearing up, but we've got to go. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, listen, it's been great talking to you both again. Thank you very much to Erin and to Rory. And thank you once again to Parsley Box, who are our friends and who've been looking after us and who brought us some lovely things. I don't think they're in the studio yet, but maybe next time.